Hey everyone, if you're a new friend, welcome to my channel, and if you're an old friend, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about Loraque's California Dreamin' palette. So if you're ready to hear what I have to say about this palette, then keep on watching because the review is up next. I'm a pretty big fan of Loraque, like especially lately. I've just been really in love with the Loraque Unzipped palette. It's just been my palette for the winter, and when I saw that they had this limited edition winter palette coming out, I was like really excited. But the colors like didn't excite me that much. I just kind of figured, well, it's Loraque, it's only $30. Let me just go ahead and pick it up and see what I can make of it. Worst comes to worst, all I can do is review it for my channel. So I picked up this palette and turns out I really like it. But let's get into the details. Let me show you guys the swatches and then I'll come back and give you guys my full thoughts. Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I primed my arm with Wet n Wild's Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer and that I used two different brushes for these swatches and I wiped them off after each swipe. These shades for the most part are just crazy buttery. Like when you stick your finger in this one, it actually like leaves an indentation. It's ridiculous how buttery these colors are. I'm really in love with this palette. I feel like Boots and Seaside really aren't as pigmented as they should be. You guys can see in the swatches, Boots is pretty good, but Seaside is just kind of like a huge disappointment in my opinion. But 11 out of the 12 shades are like phenomenal, so I can't really be that mad. Each of these shades comes with 0.34 ounces per pan, so you're getting a pretty good amount of product in this palette. So when I saw the packaging, let's just talk about the packaging. To me, it's not exactly what I would call gorgeous. Like, in my opinion, Naked Smoky is a gorgeous palette. Like, this packaging is just, it's artistic, it's beautiful. Natural Matte, very beautiful palette. Like, just elegant, feminine, I'm here for it. This palette with like all of its little rhinestones and mouths and butterflies and yarn balls, like it's just a little bit tacky to me. It kind of reminds me of like an old lady's countertop, like an assortment of random things that she would have. If you guys like that, no shade to you guys, it's just a little bit tacky to me. But the palette is totally worth it. Aside from the slightly tacky little trinkets on the package, it is like made up of like white cardboard. So when it's in my makeup bag with like a wet sponge or a dirty brush, like it does tend to pick up some of my foundation or concealer or something, and so that can make it a little bit messy, which is why I've been keeping it in this box when it's in my makeup container, just so it can retain its semi-pristine appearance. It's made up of the usual cardboard that Loraque tends to make their palettes out of, and it does like pick up a good amount of color. So like the packaging, it's not as durable as it could be, but it's not terrible. I would prefer if they at least made this glossy. Like this is super easy to scratch and just super easy to mark up. So if they could have made it glossy, I would have really been standing for it. But since they didn't, it's kind of hard for me to just like 100% love. This palette is sold on Loraque's website, at Kohl's, and at Ulta. I'm not sure if it's at Sephora, but I can put that information in the info box down below. It is a limited edition. They didn't say exactly how long it would be out for. I personally wish they had put this palette out before Christmas, even just like early January, but preferably before Christmas, just because it's really good and I would have loved to like give this as a Christmas present. It's fine though, you know, rather sooner than later. So the palette retails for $30, and with 12 shades, that's about $2.50 per shade. I feel like that's a pretty good price, especially for Lorac quality. Like when I saw that it was only $30, I was like, well, duh, I'm gonna get this. Like it's only $30 for Lorac quality. Like come on, hell yeah, I'll get it. Sign me up, I'll take two. Well, I didn't really buy two, but you know what I mean. The palette has 4 matte, 4 shimmer, and 4 satin. So one of the questions I like to ask myself when I'm reviewing a palette is the palette woman of color friendly? And I really feel like it just depends on the woman in particular, because these colors are kind of on the neutral side. Like there are some cool tones, there are some warm tones, but for the most part, they're pretty neutral. I definitely feel like this palette could work with deeper skin shades. You just kind of have to build these colors up. This cable knit color is so pretty. It's like a deep eggplant color with like dark brown but with like purple undertones, so I'm a huge fan of that one, and I just feel like it would really work well with deeper skin tones. I also like to answer the question whether or not a palette is beginner friendly, and I feel like this kind of depends on the beginner herself, just because these colors are pretty pigmented but they're super duper powdery, and so you really have to build them up with a brush, and it just depends on like how comfortable you are with eyeshadow. When I was starting out with eyeshadow, I would really swirl a color in there, pick up a whole bunch of product, and then go. Like I had to teach myself, slow down Sophia, maybe build it up. So if you're okay with building colors up, this palette's gonna be great for you. If you just like to go in there guns blazing with a whole bunch of product and then get to swirling around, you're gonna have a little bit more difficulty. You might be a little bit frustrated with some of these colors. But yeah, pro tip, build these colors up because some of them can be very light. In my opinion, this palette is going to be really good for the spring. Of course, it's good for winter. That's really what they intended it for. Cable knit, boots, seaside, kitty cat, really gorgeous winter colors, but overcast, bonfire, hot toddy, starfish, button, all really pretty pastel spring colors. I'm excited to use this palette for the springtime. I can't really see myself using this in the summertime just because I usually like to wear really, really warm, vibrant colors during the summertime. And for the fall, I usually like to wear warmer toned berry shades. So I wouldn't say that it's really great for summer or fall, but definitely spring and winter, this is gonna be your go-to palette. I found that these colors tend to wear on the eye for about 8 hours. After that, you kind of get to see them just fade a little bit. The colors aren't as bright. For the most part, you're gonna get 8 hours of wear out of the eyeshadow with a good primer. I wanna show you guys just how powdery this eyeshadow is. Like when you are putting your brush into a pan, you're seriously gonna have a ton of kick up. Just look at this. So like you really have to tap off your brush after you dip it into the pan, because like it's gonna come with a bunch of fallout. So because of all of that fallout, I tend to do my eyeshadow first with this palette. When I'm doing my makeup, I just make sure that I haven't done my foundation so that I'm prepared for the fallout. When it gets on my face, I can just wipe it off and I haven't messed up any of my foundation. I do have a tutorial on this look up on my channel already. If you guys want to see some more looks with this palette, then just let me know and I would be happy to do some for you. Just give me a holla in the comments and I'll see what I can come up with. Right now I'm wearing hot toddy and buttons on my eyes. Like seriously, some of my favorite color. Like I've been looking for a pink eyeshadow that would show up on brown skin and I think I found it. Like I'm just so in love with hot toddy. Hot toddy, cable knit, bonfire, overcast, starfish buttons, cozy, like I really love this palette. I'm super excited about it. I'm hoping that they make it permanent. I don't understand why they wouldn't. But if you guys are excited about this palette, let me know in the comments. If you have this palette, let me know in the comments what your favorite colors are, what colors you just love to throw together for a look. So that's going to wrap up this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up. Maybe even share it with a friend because that would be super cool. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.